Hello and welcome. Today we're going to explore something really profound from the Gita. It's all about the connection between what we know and how we feel, specifically how knowledge shapes our devotion to the divine.
A lot of us grow up thinking that faith and intellect are two totally separate things, right? One is for the heart, the other is for the mind. But what if that's not the whole picture? What if true devotion isn't about blind faith at all? Well, the Gita presents this incredible idea that knowledge and devotion are literally inseparable. They're not two different paths, they're two sides of the very same coin. You really can't have one without the other. And honestly, this one idea is the key to understanding everything else we're about to discuss.
So, if they're linked, what does that actually mean? It means that real, genuine devotion isn't just some vague emotional feeling. It's an attitude. It's a whole outlook on life that grows directly out of a deep, solid understanding. And this is so practical, you can see it everywhere. Think about it. Our attitudes about people, about our jobs, about life, they're all shaped by what we know. You can't just decide to change an attitude. You have to change the underlying knowledge first. Let's use a really simple analogy to see how this works. Okay, so imagine you meet a total stranger. At first, you feel, well, nothing, right? Just indifference. But then, as you get to know them, you learn about their personality, their history, what they stand for. Your attitude starts to shift. You might start to like them, or respect them, maybe even dislike them. The point is, your feelings are a direct result of your knowledge. And the Gita says the exact same principle applies to our relationship with God. And that brings us to the real heart of our explainer today. Just like our knowledge of a person can get deeper and deeper, so can our knowledge of God. This means there are different levels, or you could say grades of devotion, and each grade corresponds to a deeper level of understanding. So let's break them down.
The journey almost always begins right here, with a very direct and personal way of understanding the divine.
So at this first level, grade 1, a person simply acknowledges that God exists. Their devotion is usually directed toward a very specific, personal form of God. The main idea here is there is a God, a separate, powerful being who deserves all of our praise and glory. Now, as a person's understanding starts to mature, their whole perspective expands, and that leads them to the second grade of devotion. In grade 2, the big realization is that there is only one God, who is just worshipped through all these different names and forms. A devotee at this level gets that the true God is formless, nameless. They see God as the intelligence cause of the universe, kind of like the grand architect, the cosmic consciousness that designed and started everything. And finally, we arrive at the most profound, the most complete level of knowledge, grade 3. This is where all the lines between the creator and the creation just dissolve. This is it, the ultimate understanding. There is nothing but God. At this stage, God isn't just the intelligence behind the universe, but also the very material of the universe. So think of it this way. God isn't just the potter who shapes the clay pot. God is the potter and the clay. That means there is absolutely nothing in this entire universe that is not God. So when a person reaches this grade 3 understanding, they're considered a true devotee. And this knowledge isn't some abstract theory in their head. No, it completely transforms their entire being, how they think, how they act, how they live their life. So the next question is obvious. What does a person like this actually look like? Well, the Gita gives us a roadmap. It outlines 5 key characteristics, or hallmarks, that really identify someone who embodies this ultimate knowledge. So what does this state of being look like in the real world? Well, we're told there are 5 distinct signs: being hardworking, strong-minded, constantly conscious of God, practicing surrender, and being deeply, deeply peaceful. Let's dig into what each of these really means. First up, they are hardworking. Every single task that comes their way is treated as an assignment given directly by God. Because of what they know, their entire motivation for work has changed. They give it their absolute all, not for a pat on the back or for personal gain, but because they see their work as a service to the divine reality that they see in everything. Second, they're strong-minded. Once they take on a task, they are laser-focused. Because their knowledge of this divine unity is so solid, things like obstacles and setbacks just don't throw them off course. They have this unwavering commitment that comes straight from that deep inner conviction. Third, they're always conscious of God. And this isn't something they have to force themselves to do. It's just the natural result of how they see the world.
They see the divine in every person, in every situation. And I love this modern example. In a board meeting, they see the directors, the employees, and the customers, all as different expressions of that one divine reality. The fourth hallmark is surrender. Now, this is so important. It is not a transaction. It's not, I'll surrender to you, God, so you'll give me what I want. No way. A person who truly knows that all is God doesn't need to ask for anything from God. Their surrender is just an act of pure, unconditional love for the whole of existence, because they know they are an inseparable part of it. And finally, the fifth hallmark, they are peaceful. This profound peace comes from a lack of ego. Since they know there's only one divine reality, they don't see themselves as a separate doer of their actions or the enjoyer of the results. They just accept everything that happens as the natural unfolding of that one divine will, and that brings a calm that is just unshakable. So when you step back, you can really see the whole journey. It starts with this idea of God as a separate being that we worship, and it culminates in the breathtaking realization that God is the very fabric of all existence. Knowledge literally transforms devotion from an act of praise into a state of being. And that leaves us with a final thought to reflect on. This isn't just some ancient philosophy. It's a map of consciousness. So the real question becomes, where do you see yourself on this path of understanding?